What's up, VexXFam? Razor here, and I'm hitting you with another video update. And today we're going to talk about some past events, some upcoming things, and the future of VexX Gaming. So let's get right into it. Our Call of Duty team attended MLG Orlando just a few weeks ago, and they ended up having a pretty decent run. Ended up falling short of our goal. But we ended up beating some pretty notable teams, including IQ, which is Pemby and Pro Freezy, Mosh, and Gunless. Very talented team. But we ended up falling to AES and MW, both in very good matches. It just, if we had more time to work as a squad, I believe that they would have been able to do better. But we had a lot of things that happened during the past few weeks before the event that just kind of disabled us from having great practices with the four. No excuses. Our placement was 17 through 20. Not the placement that we were looking for, but moving on, we're going to try to do better, and we've got some things that we'll talk about later on to help that out. So 17th through 20th was our placement at Orlando, and then literally the next weekend the squad had to play in the online qualifier for champs, and we had a very stacked bracket. We ended up beating Bittersweet in the first round, which was a very talented squad, but ended up falling to Corn, which was Method's squad. Methods and Twiz. Those guys are very talented players. It ended up knocking us out of our chance to be able to play for champs. Yeah, it is what it is. Congratulations to Methods and those guys over there. Played a very good match against us. It sucks. The squad was pretty upset. This is the biggest opportunity for them at the end of the year, and unfortunately it was in an online tournament. So it is what it is. Moving forward, though, we've got some things coming up for Call of Duty that I think you're going to like for UMG Orlando, and then moving forward into IW. But we'll talk about that in the future. Next up is Gears of War. Gears of War had the MLG Columbus tournament just a few weeks ago, and it was actually amazing. Big shout out to the guys that do Gears of War, the Coalition, MLG. You guys put on an amazing event. Our team was a very underrated team going into this event. They had never played on LAN before, not very known players in the upper echelon of Gears of War. They were known as online warriors. They were thought to not do very well. And these guys came out and they put on a performance. Their first match that they ever played on LAN was played on the main stage. And they showed absolute determination. They didn't really show any nerves at all. They beat a team called PR and the Funky Bunch, which was a team that had a pretty decent placement in some past events for Gears of War. And so they were thought to be able to put on a show versus us, and we ended up destroying them 4-2, 4-2, taking the set 2-0. After that, it was just kind of the hype momentum moving forward. We beat E6. We fell to Enemy in a very close match, and Enemy was rated the #1 team going into this tournament. Very close set. We ended up falling 2-1 in that set, and then we ended up playing against Strictly Business, ended up beating them 2-0, and then finally getting knocked out by a Dream Team, which was another close match. I think it was 4-3, 4-3. So these guys really proved that they can play at that top level. They showed people who they are. They, got the respect that they deserved. Placing 5th overall at the tournament was a very big leap for these guys, especially not playing on LAN ever before. Very proud of the squad. I knew that they could do it. I knew that they had the talent to do it. And so I'm very proud that they came out and they put on the performance that I knew that they were capable of. Moving forward now, MLG is going to be doing 2K series each weekend. Basically, the 2K series will play into the Invitational, which is going to be, I believe, at Columbus, Ohio, playing into Gears of War 4. So 3 teams have already been invited, and those 3 teams are the top teams that placed at Columbus, which are Envy, Enemy, and Dream Team. And then I think 5 or maybe 3 more teams qualify through gathering of pro points through not only the ladder, which can be played ladder matches throughout the week whenever you want, like challenge matches, and then the 2Ks that are at the end of the week. As a matter of fact, today is the first 2K for the Gears of War team, and they'll be making their way to try to get into that invitational, playing into Gears of War 4. These guys have the talent to do it. They are just as good online as they are on LAN. I think they're a little bit better on LAN than they are online. So these guys are dangerous now that they know that they can compete with these upper echelon squads, now that they've got a little bit more confidence under their belt. So really look out for this team. They're going to be making some waves. We're going to qualify for this invitational. I am very, very, very confident of this squad. That's that. Moving on to Rainbow Six. As you know, Rainbow Six was doing really well, and then towards the end of the season we had some roster changes, some mishaps, and they ended up falling short in the league. Ended up overall, I think it was 5th place, and they needed to be in the top 2 to be able to move on to the finals. After that, their contracts had expired, and they ended up moving on to another organization. I'm not too sure what the name of the organization is, but they're great players. Much respect goes out to those guys. You know, Rainbow Six is one of those games that have been around for a long time, but isn't necessarily getting the traction that I think it deserves. We might have another opportunity to jump into Rainbow Six coming up here. So we will see what options that we have moving forward, and we'll keep you guys updated about that. And that's that. Moving on to Smash Brothers. Man, it has been so busy since I did this last video update. So before Columbus, that weekend before Columbus was one of the biggest tournaments for Super Smash Brothers, EVO 2016. And Daywalker had a great performance. Seagull Joe ended up placing, I believe, 33rd. Ended up falling short in a very stacked bracket. Had a great performance. But 33rd out of how many competitors there were? A little over 2,000 competitors. You got to put that in perspective. Seagull Joe definitely put on a performance, especially with his Sonic play. But Daywalker came out with his Lucario and really, really put on a performance, making it all the way to Championship Sunday and finishing 13th overall. Very, very amazing performance from him. And when we first picked him up, I said, if you make the top 16 of EVO, we will start talking about bigger and better things for you, because I believe that you have the talent to do that. That was the goal set for him, and he did it. So very, very, very proud of Daywalker. The man really put on a performance at EVO. And then just last weekend, we had Super Smash Con. And both Daywalker and Seagull Joe had very, very good performances. Seagull Joe ended up finishing, I believe, 25th overall at Super Smash Con. And Daywalker ended up, I believe, finishing 17th through 20th. I believe that was the bracket that he finished in. But he ended up beating some very notable players, including TSM0. So it shows that brackets can really affect how the tournament plays out, but he can compete with some of the best players out there. Very, very proud of both Daywalker and Seagull Joe. These guys are on the come up, and we've got some big things coming up for them to be able to help them achieve the next step in their evolution of their game. So stay tuned for that. Very, again, proud of these guys. That leads us to our next one, which is Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla has been slowly growing as a scene. They've been doing the weekly Brawlhalla tournament series, the BCS, and what they've been having is 2v2s and 1v1s, and mostly they'll be having qualifiers for the big show, which is the BCS Championship that is set for November. And right now, our guys have been doing very, very well. Both Crocky and Doppy have performed very well in the 1v1 circuit, and then just last weekend, they ended up placing in the top 4 of the 2v2 for the BCS. This game is a game that we ended up having some people reach out to us about jumping on board with it. It's a very, very early stage of the game. So we believe that this game has the potential to be able to be a relatively high-level esport that brings in players and brings in viewers and brings in some form of money for people. But it's not there quite yet, and we want to help grow it to be able to get there. So make sure that you go out every weekend and check it out. We will make sure that we tweet out the streams when the tournaments are happening. And Brawlhalla is also a free-to-play game that you can download on Steam and check out. If you like fighting games, if you like Smash Brothers in particular, you will like Brawlhalla. Very, very cool game. Very easy to play, but has a high skill level to be able to play at the highest level. So it has all the right things for an esport, and we're going to really help push that into the mainstream and get more eyes on it. So that's that. Crocky and Doppy are well on their way to be able to be making it into the BCS, and even if they don't make a qualify through the online tournament, we can still bring them there and compete into the BCS. So we'll see what happens. Make sure you guys stay tuned for all of that. And that's that for teams. Right now we are also looking for a few things. We're looking for writers, we're looking for streamers, and we're looking for video editors. We need people to be able to help create videos for our players and for our teams. And we also need streamers to be able to help get our network growing and going. We're also looking for writers to be able to help cover events, write content, and other things like that on our website. So if you think that you have what it takes for any of these jobs, go to our website, click apply, and fill out an application. Or better yet, send us an email with all of your information. The email will be in the description, and we will get right back to you as soon as we can. That is that, and that's pretty much all I got for you guys. We are going to be amping up a lot of more content for you, so we're going to have a lot more YouTube content, a lot more streaming content, a lot more everything coming out the pipeline. Be ready, because I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. And that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like what you saw, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends, and we will see you next time. Peace.